Hello there, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. More and more pressure is being created on the Biden administration, not just by Democrats and progressive Democrats, but also by business CEOs who want to see the passage of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. In this video, I'll give you some key behind the scenes details about exactly what's going on, why they're pushing for this massive stimulus. Let's get started. As you can see from this article on CNBC, more than 150 CEOs urge Congress to pass the massive $1.9 trillion stimulus package. More than 150 CEOs, folks, New York chief executives, are urging Congress to be able to do this. And notable CEOs include individuals from Goldman Sachs, individuals from BlackRock, individuals from Deutsche Bank, individuals from Blackstone. These are major funds. And folks, these are major donors, not just to the Democrats, but also to the Republicans. So this is some serious stuff and some serious pressure, if you will, from major CEOs to the Biden administration. And keep in mind that the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives is going to vote on the $1.9 trillion stimulus package this Friday. We expect this bill to pass the House and go to the Senate next week, and we expect a lot of drama next week leading up to the 14th of March, which is the deadline to sign this bill. Otherwise, unemployment benefits will expire for millions of our fellow Americans. Here's a letter on your screen, everyone, from the Business Roundtable. This letter was addressed to House Speaker Pelosi, to the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, to the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and to the House Minority Leader, the Republican Kevin McCarthy. So many important things said in the letter, but I'll focus on the things that matter the most and the things that jumped out the most. In the letter, these CEOs say, we write to urge immediate and large-scale federal legislation to address the health and economic crisis brought on by the pandemic. Congress should act swiftly and on a bipartisan basis to authorize a stimulus and relief package along the lines of the Biden-Harris administration's proposals, the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. So these CEOs are behind this massive stimulus. The problem is that many Republicans don't support this, including Republicans who generally are open to all sorts of ideas from the Democrats. Mitt Romney. Now, I have to tell you, when you as a Democrat lose Mitt Romney, then that says something about your package. That actually says that maybe there's something going on there. Here's an article on your screen that was written by Mitt Romney in the Wall Street Journal, where Romney says Biden's stimulus plan is a $1.9 trillion clunker. He said Senate Republicans are eager to get aid where it's needed, meaning target the aid specifically to reopen schools and to get individuals back to work. Now, keep in mind that Republicans have a concern, and that concern is providing $400 a week until August or September of this year will encourage individuals to stay home and not go to work, because many individuals will end up making more money at home, sitting at home collecting unemployment, than they would getting back to work. And this would discourage them from getting back to work, and this would make it harder for employers to find employees to return to work. In fact, Romney writes this in the article. It demonstrates that the $1.9 trillion is a clunker. It would waste hundreds of billions of dollars, do nothing meaningful to get kids back to school, and enact policies that work against job creation. Wow. And Romney also writes, the CBO, their recent analysis of the plan found that more than a third of the proposed funding, $700 billion, would not be spent until 2022 or later, undermining the administration's claim that the massive price tag is justified for the pandemic. In fact, I did a video earlier today on our channel where I highlighted a key comment from the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who said that just 9% of the bill was going to be used for pandemic purposes. And Kevin McCarthy did say that a majority of the money is going to be spent down the road, and this is a Democratic wish list. So you can see that a lot of Republicans are coming out against the package. And Romney is not the only one. Senator Rob Portman from Ohio wrote this article on your screen from the Washington Post, and he writes, Biden promised bipartisanship. That rhetoric has not been matched by action. Now, Rob Portman is the architect of the back to work bonus that was proposed last year. It didn't go anywhere, but he had a concern that individuals should not be paid more to stay at home, instead should be incentivized to go back to work. And Portman writes, the new administration has chosen to go around Republicans this time, not just by proposing a huge $1.9 trillion stimulus with no consultation with any Republican or Democrat in the bipartisan working group. So that's interesting that he would say that. He says they are trying to pass $1.9 trillion through reconciliation, bypassing the normal 60 vote Senate majority and getting it done with just 51 votes, including the vote of the Vice President Kamala Harris. Portman also says, trying to find a way to work together. I worked with 9 of my Republican colleagues over the past month to develop a targeted $618 billion stimulus plan. Keep in mind, the proposal from the Republicans is a $618 billion stimulus proposal, a third of the $1.9 trillion proposal. And Portman writes, our plan focuses on priorities we share with the president, including providing increase in funding for the distribution of vaccines, offering economic relief for Americans with the greatest need, extending unemployment benefits, although keep in mind that their unemployment benefits were not extended by $400 a week up until the end of August, so there would have been less unemployment benefits, supporting our small businesses, helping kids get back to school, and addressing the drug addiction epidemic that is a heartbreaking part of the pandemic. And another senator, John Kennedy from Louisiana, you see this headline of a Fox News article on your screen. This senator used, his language was a lot more colorful than Mitt Romney and Rob Portman. This is what the senator said. He said that this isn't a pandemic bill, this is a left of Lenin neo-socialist wish list. And he said it is chock full of spending porn unrelated to the pandemic. And if you thought that was interesting, here's where things get even more interesting. The $15 an hour minimum wage is not something the business CEOs want addressed at this time. Well, could it be because the conservative Democrat from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, doesn't want it? Could it be that Senator Kristen Sinema, the Democrat from Arizona, doesn't want it? Or could it be something else? Here's what was in the letter as it pertains to the $15 an hour minimum wage. Very interesting. Let's look at this closely. We believe these issues, meaning the $15 an hour minimum wage, would be better debated in future legislation so as not to delay urgent resources for the public health response and economic recovery. How convenient. Let me know what you think in the comment section below of this rather interesting approach from the 150 CEOs. In fact, let's show you the names of all these CEOs on your screen right now as we scroll through these names. 150 CEOs from some of the top companies in the United States of America as we scroll through all these names. A lot of influential business leaders and donors to both the Democrat and the Republican Party saying, hey, pass the stimulus, but let's just wait for the $15 an hour while the Republicans, the conservatives, if you will, like Mitt Romney and Rob Portman express their opinion, and while individuals like John Kennedy express their own views in their own colorful way. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.